Peace, family. You know, I was listening to this Mitch McConnell interview, and he was talking about reparations. And he was saying that, as far as he's concerned, the need or accountability for reparations has passed due to the fact that nobody alive today ever owned slaves. So my thought process is this. If that's true, then tell me, after 1776, when this country fought for the so-called rights, freedoms, and privileges of slaves, when the conception of this country was born, why did it take 90 years after that fact for slaves to actually be freed? And why did it take another 150 years and blacks are still basically in the same condition they was in 1865? In 1865, black people owned 0.1% of the GDP. Those numbers has been the same up until today. They're still the same. So if the accountability for reparations went into the grave at the last moment, that this last slave owner who owned slaves went into the grave, how do you account for these numbers? The fact of the matter is, the influence, the accountability still exists today, but it don't reside in the flesh and blood like you want to make people think, Mitch McConnell. The accountability for reparations is still alive and kicking today because it circulates now. It transitioned from flesh and blood, and it's now circulating through the brick and steel of the businesses, industries, and institutions that was forged in our people's enslavement. When you still have the laws, the policies, the procedures, the definition of business that had a 247-year head start, this is where the accountability for reparations exists. Because, see, once flesh and blood come up with the notion to enslave another people, to build and promote their own way of life, then they build businesses, industries, and institutions, the courts and all that, to maintain their dominance. Just because these people are now in the grave, that does not mean that their intentions, their purpose went with them. It was transitioned from flesh and blood to brick and steel. When you look at the flag that this country hold up above everybody, when you look at the businesses, the economics, the policies, the procedures, the legislation, this is where the need for reparations come from. It circulates through the bodies of these businesses and industries. These roads are the arteries. The economics is the blood that flow. And you hold the key, because the essential needs and services, the fundamental necessities that everybody needs to live, food, water, shelter, circulates through this country. And black people have not, I ain't gonna say none, but not enough ownership and control over to ease its impact. If you were to go and exhume the bodies of the people who owned slaves, they will have smiles on their faces when they can see that their influence still prevalent today, that black people have not yet learned to build their own independent means to sustain their own existence. The need for reparations, the accountability of reparations did not die when they died. It has been here, and it has been in the hands of those who benefited directly from our enslavement and those who directly profit off of it. We cannot sit back and just allow or think that because these people no longer exist, the accountability for reparations no longer exists. If they built businesses, industries, and institutions to promote and maintain their economic, social, and political dominance over our people, then the liberation of blacks must also be built into our own independent businesses, industries, and institutions, so that years after, when I'm old and withered to dust, our ability to maintain our existence, to have self-determination over our people, to own and control our community, will still be here. It will still be present. And then we can pass that on from one generation to the next. Do not be fooled. And see, Mitch McConnell, what you try to say is that because they're no longer here, there's no need. But the fact of the matter is these institutions are still here. And you still take advantage of them. Because remember when Barack Obama was president of the United States? You disregarded your political obligation to Kentucky. You said your number one priority was going to be making sure that Barack Obama was a one-term president. You also said that Barack Obama was reparations for our people. So if you believe Barack Obama was reparations for our people, why would you block all his legislation that he was doing? You went on Sean Hannity's show, and when Sean Hannity asked you about all the court appointments that Barack Obama did not place, and Donald Trump had over 100 judges that he had to appoint, most of them come from Barack Obama's term. You, Mitch McConnell, you sat there with a smile on your face, an eerie smile on your face. And you stated the fact that all Barack Obama court appointments came through his department. And he told Barack Obama, you was not going to place not one of these judges. We're going to leave these for the next judge, for the next president. The same institutions that govern over our people, you still reside in today to limit our effectiveness. But yet you still want to sit up here and say the accountability for reparations no longer exists because the perpetrators no longer exist. As long as their businesses, industries, and institutions, as long as we abide by their laws, work within their margins, their limitations, black family, I'm going to tell you, the need for reparations, the need for liberation is going to always exist. It is time we take the power out of their hands and put it in the ours. The liberation, the power of liberation is in our hands, and it has always been in our hands. We can do this if we just come together up under the fundamental beliefs and think generational about our liberation. Not just what we can do for ourselves, but what we can do for our children and our children's children. Never again. Especially, like I say, we are at the cusp of having grandchildren, children, and parents all computer literate. You're not going to sit up here and tell me that you could have 3 generations of people, all computer literate, all highly educated, still functioning up under the limitations and margins of our oppressors. Not on my watch. The end of our 500-year losing streak, it starts today. I'm in this message here. And if you like this message, if you like this content, and if you like this pressure that I put on our oppressor, put a little pressure on that follow, subscribe, and share button, and catch me in my next video. Ashe.